Uptown Funk you up. You know Bruno Mars does, like, crack? Or did? Or was that meth? No, he did something real hard that he shouldn't have done.
And now he's like, no.
No, he's fine now.
Okay, I figured. He wrote the song Happy. Although, in fairness...
Happy? No. That was Pharrell Williams.
Was it?
Those are totally different people.
You're right.
Yep.
My bad. Hello, everyone. I'm Hugo.
I'm Jake.
And welcome to Jake Reads Your Comments.
Yeah, big fan of NERD myself. That's the number, I guess.
Okay, and today we're going to be not answering necessarily, reading some of your comments and talking about them, I guess.
The Neptunes? Is that another band that Pharrell Williams was in?
I don't know anything about
NERD?
Pharrell.
Maybe I could be wrong.
So without further ado...
Yes, you do. You know one thing about Pharrell. He wrote Happy. Because I just told you.
It already fell out of my head once you said it, to be honest.
All right.
Here we go. From the Discord, Daddy Sume, dear first mate and captain. Yeah, debate that a while.
Captain. I'm objectively the captain.
I'm not going to debate that, yeah?
Yeah.
I know my place. I'm Tennille in this relationship.
What? Oh, just captain. No, just captain.
Captain
yeah.
and Tennille.
Okay. Yeah, that's not a dated reference at all. That's...
Google it if you weren't born in the 70s.
Yeah, I don't even know if Google has that anymore. It's so old.
I have been marathoning Star Trek Deep Space Nine lately, and I've noticed that the changeling character Odo is written as a moderately functioning autistic. I don't know if you guys are into Star Trek, but I'm curious to see your opinion on that observation or on the portrayal of those with mental illness in popular culture.
Okay, I have a question just rolling into this. A moderately functioning autistic sounds to me like a moderately functioning black. A moderately functioning, I don't know. Do those on the spectrum enough? By the way, probably both of us are on the spectrum. Yeah, but who cares, right? What do autistic folks prefer at this point? I actually don't know, because for a while, like, retarded was like a
totally different thing.
No, absolutely no.
I see.
I'm saying retarded was like a catch-all for anyone who was just like atypical.
Yeah.
Right. And like I watched a Bill Maher clip the other day where he's like, retarded people are like dogs. We have progressed since then. I don't know if Bill has, but we have as a society.
Are the Black Eyed Peas still getting retarded in here?
That's what I'm talking about. Right. So like is calling someone autistic, even though that's what we call it, is that a pejorative for someone? Like, I mean, I'm genuinely asking. I don't actually know.
What's the current nomenclature?
Yeah. Anyway, that was just something I thought of. So, as far as portrayal of mental illness in pop culture, do you find Odo to be?
I find Odo, if he's autistic, he's not moderately functioning.
I think
he is high functioning.
He was just Data that wasn't Data, right?
He's just a dick. He just doesn't like people, and he's very. I wouldn't say he's autistic, because the episode where, I don't know how to put this. If you perceive it that way, that's fine, but I don't think that's the intent that the writers were going in with. Because, for instance, there's an episode early in the show I've watched, not all of Deep Space Nine, but a good number of episodes. Odo is a shape-shifting alien. They weren't sure of his species.
He's got the
smooth face.
You've seen him before. Here's a picture, probably, maybe, if I remember.
The father figure of his who found him, he comes in an episode and it sort of deals with him not being very close to the crew, and like, I don't know if the writing was intending him to be autistic. I didn't get that. I just got he's standoffish with people and doesn't like getting close connections because he feels he can't. He's alone in the universe. That's the feeling I get.
I think there's some really good portrayals of autism in media. I think one of my favorite ones, and I don't know that they actually explore it, because I think Gregory House is in House is just an asshole. But they do an episode where they compare him to an autistic kid, and he's the only one that can really communicate.
Sure.
Because he kind of just gets it. So the way they portray that kid specifically, I don't know if Greg is that, but the kid is portrayed really well, because I'm pretty sure that was just an actor doing his best.
Currently on TV, there's a show called The Good Doctor.
Yeah, I don't know if that's good. It's got that kid that was in
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. And
I was thinking it's that guitar one, like Autumn.
I know what you're talking about, but I don't remember the name.
Autumn Rush?
Yeah, I think so.
Sound right? August Rush.
August Rush. That's what it is. But that guy's in that show, and that's a pretty good depiction of a person.
That's good.
He's For those of you who haven't seen the show, he's a doctor. It's by the same people who made House, actually. He's super genius doctor. He can remember photographically almost everything he's ever seen in a medical diagram. In the first episode, in fact, it shows him like picturing the inner thing of someone's anatomy and like doing something based on that. But he's very autistic. Like he has trouble just communicating with others.
Do we think Sherlock is before Moffat really got a hold of it?
No, he's just a Moffat character who's written
all right,
weirdly.
So yeah, as far as like I don't know, portrayal and kind of just what's the word I'm looking for here?
Representation,
yeah. Not just forcing like for a quota, but actual representation. I think for anyone is important in media. I think it's cool. I mean, you saw it in Black Panther specifically. That is probably the biggest recent one. Yeah. But Crazy Rich Asians, I think, is supposed to be really. I didn't actually see it. I don't usually go see comedies in theater, but
it's on my list of movies to watch.
Yeah, me too. But I guess that representation was really great as well because there's not a lot of just like American Asian films.
Sure.
So yeah, I don't know. I think it's important, and I know people get upset. Maybe there's some fans still left over that are doing that. I don't know why you're crotchety about it. Like people want to be represented, it's fine. Like I don't know. I think it's cool. I like seeing it. That's it. That's the end of that.
Mr. Dabacle.
Probably debacle, but
sure.
It's all weird.
Okay. Dear Daddy Jake, what is the most ridiculous moment you have had as a GM or Dungeon Master, Game Master, or what the fuck moment when your players did something out of the plan?
This is a good question, but I first, since for those of you who probably, you've got to be aware at this point, we do a D&D home game, we stream it on the internet, and you would like it. Whether you think so or not, you should come on over. Charisma Saves every Sunday at 6:30 Eastern Time over at twitch.tv/actualjake. You're a player in it.
Yeah, reruns of that are over on Unpop, by the way.
Correct. And actually, as of yesterday, when you're seeing this, the newest episode is up. Cool. So, what do you think is what do you think is the biggest moment you guys have fucked up whatever I had?
Oh god, I have to think about it for a second.
Because I think my favorite moment, I definitely know my favorite moment that I thought, like I don't think you've ever like just blown up plans entirely as far as like, because I don't really. It says as far as the plan in air quotes, I don't have a plan for you. I have events that I find you'll interact with.
Maybe the when we got hired by that dragon, because that was kind of a weird way we decided to go about that.
Yeah, although the dragon was. You like to tell that story, so you can go ahead real quick.
Basically, we were teleported into a bathroom. Don't worry about it. The backstory's irrelevant to the story. We teleported into a bathroom. Outside was a dragon. Myself and Jake's girlfriend Sarah, our characters, went outside to talk to the dragon. The dragon hired us to go capture some people who had fled from a war, some war deserters.
Yeah.
So we
said the dragons were in charge of.
Yeah. So we said, okay, sure, for X amount of gold. I don't even remember how much it was. We'll go get them. So we said, okay, we'll come back tomorrow or whatever and get them if you're here.
I think there was a dead or alive bounty as well.
Yeah. So we went off to go find them. We actually found them. Come to find, we agree with the deserters. We kind of assumed we would anyway. I think when we were going, we got why they didn't
This is a pretty anti-war group in game, so... Like out of game too, probably. Not a lot of people are like, yeah, let's go fucking kill folks, but...
You'd think so. Anyway, so we got there, and we figured out, okay, we gotta get these guys time to get away, and also not have the dragon be mad at us for going back on our word. So what we ended up doing was faking Alenia's death, Jake's girlfriend's character, Sarah's character, Alenia, and... I gave a whole sob story and I forged a fake note. She didn't know I was doing this at the time. That said, like, she was pregnant with my baby and that the dragon kobold deserters had killed her in our attempt to capture them. So we brought the body, and when the dragon shows up, I fake cry at it and like, why didn't you tell us how hard it would be?
So Hugo faking a pregnancy to get something he wants.
That's you. That's my A move. That's my go-to move.
A move. I'm pregnant, Mom.
Yeah.
Like, just get out of our house.
This is the first time
That's
it's worked for me, surprisingly.
Yeah. Luckily for actual D&D fans, Silver Dragon it was, and they're pretty reasonable, and felt fucking terrible because I rolled for it. Yeah, that was fun. I think my favorite thing you guys have ever done is you had to get an ingredient for a thing, and I can't remember it was a water breathing potion, and you had to get blood from a shark.
Oh yeah.
And I thought they're gonna kill a shark real quick. 5 minutes. It's just one of those things they have to go do unless they want to pay full price for something else somewhere and travel farther. You guys get to the shark. You bait it and you find a shark and you're on a boat. And then one of the characters, our buddy Alex, has teleport arrows. Basically, you shoot one into something, shoot another one into something else, and it teleports whatever is shot to a place within reason.
Yeah.
He shot the shark, and then goes, all right, and then shot the next arrow directly into the deck of the boat.
And shark.
So the shark was there, and then you guys cast
water
walking on it. It goes. They cast water walking on it, and if you don't know what water walking does, it Jesuses you. So basically, you can't not walk on water. Well, you can, but you have to choose to. But it's a shark. It got a spell cast. It doesn't know how. So it just floats and like flaps around on top, and so they kill the shark.
Yeah,
and it took about 45 real life minutes, and it was hilarious. That's probably my favorite one. So moving on.
Accidents happen. Dear Daddy Hugo and Papa Jake, I'm an 18-year-old trans person living with unaccepting parents. They'll be able and willing to pay for college, and it would be extremely difficult to get financial aid without them. Should I just suck it up and pretend to go along with their bullshit for 4 more years, then cut them the fuck off? I honestly wouldn't feel bad using their money for that.
This is a great question.
Yes.
Fuck yes.
Take their money.
Go
to college. And the day you graduate, tell them, thanks for the money, fuck you.
Maybe during those 4 years, they'll come around, and if they do, they don't get the fuck you, and everyone's happy.
But if they don't...
I'll kick something in the studio, and then I will tell you, how fucking sweet would that be? Oh, God. I wish I had a moment in my life as sweet as this one will be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, just think of it. Woo! That's good shit. I hope you're okay. I'm sure you have friends and stuff that support you online or otherwise. You're going to college.
Either way.
Preferably if you go to campus and stay there and they pay for it. Fuck, man. Absolutely. Do it. You're going to have a great time. Go to college. Enjoy the experience. Get it all out. And yeah. In 4 years, come back. And I want to see a picture of
your parents crying.
Or a video of you being like, hey, fuck you, Dad! I'm trans! And then, like, walk away with your diploma.
Yeah.
Or something. Yeah, fuck that. That's awesome. I believe in you.
Flannel Gamer, dear hoo-ho... This one gets me a little bit. Dear hoo-hoo and Jack... Okay. I have always had a huge interest in everything supernatural. I've enjoyed going on ghost hunting tours in a lot of cool places. In 3 weeks, I'm actually going ghost hunting with a team in the Eloise Asylum in Westland, Michigan. But I've kind of started feeling weird about it recently because I 120% don't believe in ghosts.
Good, Hugo won't yell.
Yeah, it's just interesting to see cool places and watch people scare themselves. Is it weird to have an interest in something so silly that you don't believe in? Am I being disrespectful by going around people that believe in this stuff just for weird experiences? No.
It's not disrespectful. First of all, who gives a shit if they believe in ghosts or Jesus? Go do the thing that you think is interesting. Like, I don't think it would be disrespectful for you to go hang out in the fucking Vatican. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, maybe don't say, I'm a fucking atheist!
Sure.
That actually might be a crime in the Vatican. I'm not sure. But, you're not doing anything other than, like, enjoying the experience. As far as interests that are silly and they don't believe in, like, fuck it. Like, I find, like, the JFK assassination, like, even not really 9/11 that much.
No.
Because that one's more just, like, in Sandy Hook, those are more disgusting to me.
Yeah.
But, like, kind of the interesting
conspiracy theories that it's like, oh, wouldn't it be interesting to think if...
Yeah.
I
like a lot of those. Like, I even like the Bigfoot, Loch Ness stuff, even though, Stonehenge is a good one. A lot of the conspiracy...
Stonehenge, we know how...
Well, no, but there's a supernatural layer to the conspiracy community over top of it.
Gotcha.
Like, I read a book once, and there was it was a fiction book, but it mirrored a lot of the conspiracy theory people, like how they talk about it. Like if you watch Ancient Aliens, it's a beacon to the fucking stars. There was like a monster hunting people around it. It was really interesting. But I did it for a book report or some shit.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd keep going, man. I think just do stuff that you enjoy. Who gives a shit?
Fine.
Yeah, just don't be an asshole to other people having an experience. That's not cool. Unless it's the Ark Encounter. That's important.
Doc, dear DM and Prof. Ooh, that's a good one. What's your take on what seems to be a decline in anti-SJW sentiments in the atheist community? For example, Sargon deciding to change direction after MythCon. Do you think it's merely in the eye of the storm, or are things changing? Did Sargon say a thing after that?
What?
After his horrible fucking appearance at MythCon?
I actually don't know. I don't partake. But even if he did say, do you know why? It rhymes with honey. And allows you to pay for things. They're following, like, anyone like that. If you're backing off of what your whole brand has been for 3+ years, you didn't really buy into it. You were there for the fucking money.
Blair White said as much in a video a while back too, where she was like, "Yeah, a lot of these people who are in the right wing skeptic community, the right wing community in general, they're in it for the money. They don't believe this bullshit."
I'm not a fan of Blair White at all, but I respected that. I'm glad that she said it. That said, still a click hole channel. Yeah. Still a clicky hole one.
It's whatever. I mean,
if you like it, fuck it. I don't really care, but like, come on, man.
Know that they don't give a fuck about your positions. They just want your money.
I don't know. And I think it's harmful to support that kind of shit. And I don't mean like if Sargon makes. I know he makes D&D, not D&D. I think he does Cyberpunk, but he makes like tabletop RPG stuff.
Sure.
If you like that about Sargon and not his politics, I don't care if you watch his. I don't care if you agree with his politics and also support that shit. But like, if you don't support the politics and are just there because SJWs, you should leave, both here and there, go reevaluate your fucking life and then come back. Because like, just being even moderately right about one thing once, not good enough.
Yeah,
not good enough. You have to be better than that. And if they're not better, then why are you still there? You just like. I know what it is. If you're still around, which you may have already clicked off because I started yelling at you, but just chill. It might be because you like feeling right more than you like being right.
Oh, God, that's good. I agree.
It's a bumper sticker. That's my bumper? Is this my bumper?
I don't know. Also, he just met with Steve Bannon.
Yeah, I saw that.
Which made me gag when I saw that picture.
Next one will make you gag depending on how far you go.
Mr. Balderus, what if you made a dildo out of a female... Oh, God. What if you made a dildo out of female flesh, then proceeded to give it a blowjob? Is it gay or straight?
That's murder.
It's a felony, is what I was going to say.
A felony, yeah.
Several, in fact.
Yeah, definitely. But it's probably gay. That's a feminine penis.
I'm going to call that pan.
Pan?
That's the most pan thing I've ever heard. It's the only pan thing I've ever heard. Pan erasure! Sorry. Anyway.
Yeah. You're just sluts, or whatever they say. Is that what they say?
They
say that about bi people, too.
That's true.
Yeah. I don't know.
Whatever. Stick stuff
fuck
in holes.
Whatever you want to fuck. I don't care. I honestly do not care. Unless it's me and I don't want it, or someone else and they don't want it. If the thing wants your thing in or around it, do that. That's pretty solid, right? That's solid advice.
That's good general advice.
Yeah.
Cordite Rope. Dear Hugo and Jake, I remember you guys did a video a while back about how so many of the atheist skeptic community ended up going further and further right. My question is, since your opinions seem to run more liberal left-wing, if you ever worry about swinging too far left in response to the rest of the community, and what going too far left would mean for you. Don't want this to sound like some kind of indictment or anything, just genuinely curious. Much love, and keep with those Peters.
I think that's a great question. I think that's a really good question. I'm wondering what too far left is, and it's at the point where I start like free speech is important to me. So like when I start being like, you can't say blank if it doesn't incite violence or something. Like if it is mean, I think you ought not to, but I don't think you can't.
Sure.
That's where I draw the line. And some people draw the line past that, and that's too far left to me. There's other cases of that, like I don't know if you consider TERFs too far left or not, but whatever that is too far for me.
I could see that as too far left.
Right, too far left, anti-GMO, which is, again, I find these ideas not to be too far left. I find them to be too dumb. I don't necessarily think they're left or right opinions, because there's anti-GMO people on both sides. Yeah. Specifically, the religious right is like, GMOs, no, that's science, don't do it.
They did the same thing about fucking barcodes, so
absolutely.
No one should listen to them.
There's like vegans who think that like... I don't know, vegans who also think abortion is good.
What?
I don't, like that seems like contradictory to me.
Oh, I see what you're saying. You know okay,
I mean? But there's also people who are like, oh, you're pro-choice or anti. I got yelled at the other day because I was anti-animal abuse, but not a vegan. I understand where they're coming from in their tiny brains, but like beating something and torturing it, very different than killing it instantly and consuming its flesh.
I morally agree with the vegans.
I morally do
practically
for the most part.
Practically, I can't do it.
I don't know about even practically. Like, give me a meat alternative that is meat still, like the lab grown, and I'll just eat the lab grown. I don't really care. I personally, when I buy meat, more often than not, it's locally sourced because we live in a really fine area for that. If I live somewhere I didn't, I don't know.
Sure.
Plus, it's more expensive if it's not in a. What's this called? It's like there's a name for this. It's like a produce oasis or a produce desert, I think.
Oh yeah.
There's terms for it. Anyway, what are other things that are too far left? Protesting like soldiers specifically and not wars in general. I think like you're a soldier, you're part of the machine. Like
sure.
I don't know. Violent protest. I think. Is not again. It's not necessarily a left thing, but I think you know what I'm saying. Like I wouldn't engage in a violent protest of any sort, and if it was a left wing version, I wouldn't do that. So Antifa is probably a good one, but Proud Boys are worse right now.
Economically, I'm just thinking, economically, I'd never be in favor of any sort of like
communism,
government seizure of like private industry necessarily.
So yeah, we have a line. I just think we're so socially liberal.
Yeah.
That I think we get mistaken for like...
We're not... The thing is, we're not... Our philosophy is basically just do... As long as you're not hurting anyone, you're good, man.
It's basically social libertarianism with capitalism, socialism mixture for the most part, as far as economics is concerned. Because I think we both agree... We've mentioned this before. There's places where socialism, like healthcare, or capitalism, like a restaurant, are better for each industry, but like... a mixture of the two. And I think we're at a pretty good spot. So whatever you want to consider that, I think some people say, in Europe, you're center left. I don't actually think that's the case. Like I said, if you want to fuck a hole or suck a dong or suck a hole, suck a dong hole. I don't know. Whatever you want to do, you do that with consenting adults. I don't care. I think the only thing maybe that isn't libertarian about us is probably guns. Because they can kill people too easily, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't want a full ban before you start typing. Before. Not after. Good. Don't press send. Not for a full ban. You for a full ban?
Nah.
Me either. So fucking calm down.
LaCroix boy, dear Jake.
He did it again, goddammit!
Yeah.
It wasn't even that good of a question.
You talk about autism a lot in these Peterson videos. What do you suggest a person do if they think they might be a little bit on the spectrum, but don't actually know?
I haven't figured it out yet. I think I'll find out, though, as I move on into my autism more, where, like, I don't think you need to do anything. Live your life however you're living it, be happy. And if I find out how to handle mine, you'll find out how to handle yours, for sure.
If you do think you're on the spectrum, you're actually curious, though, you can go to a therapist and they'll, you can talk to them about
I'm
that.
probably not that far onto the spectrum.
It's not something to treat, though. It's not like they're like,
no.
will help treat your autism.
I think the only time, there are some issues with certain parts of the spectrum, like auditory issues. Like,
well, that's on the more severe end, where you're you have
anger
a kid
issues and some stuff can piss you off. Obviously, there's anxiety and social issues, but some people have that when they're not autistic.
Ultra sensory stuff.
I get misphonia. You can have textural issues with food and shit. You can have you can have issues sexually speaking. Whether that's severe or otherwise. I mean, you could just have it could be as mild as a weird fetish, or as severe as pain.
Sure.
So yeah, I mean, there are some stuff to treat, but I don't think autism in general. It's used as a pejorative because
4chan.
Because 4chan, yeah. Yeah. Yep. You don't get my dumb 4chan joke? What are you, autistic?
Anyway, traps are by.
This is the last one.
Okay. Dear Hugo and Jake, Dear Hugo and Jake, I've just recently started high school, and I've made a lot of new friends. The overall experience has been great, but there is one issue. My friend suffers from depression, anxiety, and even PTSD. He's had a really rough childhood. Not to get too personal, but 3 of his nearest friends died. He's contacted me several times while he was depressed and on the verge of cutting. I've tried my hardest to try and convince him not to, but I feel like nothing works. No matter how much I support him or compliment him, he just won't listen. I've even recommended he see an expert, but he doesn't want to. I'm completely lost. How can I help?
Great question. And one he should answer.
Me?
More than me.
This is gonna, continue to be a supportive friend and there for that person. But I would say, as of right now, you've done pretty much the most...
Recently started high school.
Recently started
13,
high school.
14.
You're right.
Get an adult.
Get an adult.
Probably a counselor.
School counselor would help. And even if you have to go...
I don't know what kind of school you're in, to be fair. If it's a religious school, probably not going to be great.
I guess they have a rough childhood, you said, so I don't know what the relationship...
3 close friends died.
I don't know what their relationship with their parents are like. Right. But I also know you might not want them to know you're the one who told someone about it, so I definitely... Here's the deal. This is going to sound really dismissive, but it's not. Your high school relationship with this person is not more important than their long-term well-being. Yeah.
And I don't mean to be a dick. You may not be friends with them for a few months if you out them to someone that can help. However, I think in the long run they will appreciate you. And I think teenagers are rough. You got a lot of shit going on. We've both been teenagers. You go to therapy. I've never been. Maybe I need it, but I've never felt the need.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have panicky in me. But I've seen classmates and stuff, and I think I think you'll regret if self-harm does come into play, or worse, at any point. I think you'll regret personally knowing and not doing everything, especially as an adult with hindsight.
Yeah, especially considering you were so young. This is too big of a problem for you or your friend to handle on your own. I know. Again, it sounds a little talked down.
It sounds dismissive. It's not. I promise. It's just with experience.
It's a mental health issue, and for that, you probably need either a therapist or a doctor. And the way to get those is through people older than you in positions of authority. So that's what I would do if you really want to help your friend.
Yeah,
I think it's best for them.
Yeah, and that said, don't discount how important you are in the process.
Being supportive.
Because you are a peer. You are held to a higher esteem than those professionals. And so, even though you're not technically qualified for this, and you definitely should not shoulder the burden of this, it's still important for you to be there. And so, there's a balancing act, and I don't know that anyone can get that right. But, I don't know. I think the fact that you even asked there was a lot of information in that. It was clearly thought out, and it wasn't just panicky.
Oh, yeah.
And it wasn't dismissive of how they're feeling.
No.
And so I think you're on the right track. So, yeah, especially if you both share an adult, maybe your parents are great with them. I don't know how it is. Because I know when I was that age, I had lots of friends that came over all the time, and if that had happened, I'd give them to my mom for sure.
Sure.
So yeah, I don't know. There's many opportunities, and also I don't know where you live, but there are plenty of online support groups for that kind of thing that you can get, like, you know, actual counselors and social workers in the area, and maybe give them a call and ask. So anyway,
yeah,
ended on a more serious note, but I thought it was important.
Yeah.
So there.
So you can always follow us on Twitter at PopBirdJake for Jake.
Yep. You can follow Hugo and birds.
Yeah.
I do a lot of bird related stuff, humor.
Yeah.
You can follow Hugo Reloaded for guns.
I should change that at some point, probably.
Hugo, Uncle Hugo would be fun.
Yeah.
That's probably taken now, isn't it?
Maybe. We'll see.
Yeah.
It definitely is now.
Well, that's too late. Okay. So, yeah, you can also follow the channel and subscribe and do all that shit. And you could go to twitch.tv/actualjake. I stream there all the time, but also we do the D&D stuff with everybody, and you would really like it. I promise. We're starting to get pretty, you know, not super popular, but every week it gets a little bit better.
Okay.
It's a little bit better. And last week was a humdinger. Did I sell it to the children?
I think so.
Okay.
Until next time, I'm Hugo.
I'm Jake.
This has been Jake Reads Your Comments.
I did it.
Numbered whatever he said earlier.
I don't remember. I honestly do not remember.
Bummer.
Oh, fuck. Wait. NERD? Something about Pharrell Williams? Bruno Mars.
I don't know.